I've been waiting for a single player extraction shooter for a very long time. The only one that I could find was it was an asymmetric game. I can't remember exactly what it was called. Zero Sievert, that was it. Zero Sievert. If anyone has played that, it is kind of like Stalker. It's like Stalker and Tarkov, because it's an extraction shooter, but it's kind of a bit more in the Stalker way of things. But I don't know. I don't have that game, but I'm interested in it. It's incredibly difficult, but it has single player, and apparently they're going to introduce multiplayer at some point, or maybe some sort of co-op. So I'm interested in that. But this game started out as every other extraction shooter, as a multiplayer game only, and that fucking sucks, because everybody knows, except for the toxic players that like to make fun of anyone that plays single player. I don't understand why there's a crowd that does that. They're just like, no, fuck you, you can't have single player, it's a multiplayer only. The big fucking babies. Any multiplayer game that has a fan base that eventually sort of dies down when it comes to the player base and shit, you want to have a single player experience in there, because if you love the game, but then there's no one playing it, a multiplayer game dies. This game realized, hey, the developers of this game realized, hey, let's make a single player as well. So you have the option. You can play multiplayer or single player, like every extraction shooter should do. Sorry, I'm starting this with a rant. It's just, Ghosts of Tabor have been getting a lot of clout recently, and everyone has gone, oh my god, it's the best VR extraction shooter and everything else, and blah blah. I had a little discussion on their playtest, right? And everyone was extremely toxic toward me just because I was going, hey, where's the single player experience, you know? And apparently on their Discord, everyone is attacking anyone that suggests a single player experience. Not everyone wants to play multiplayer. Not everyone wants to play with cheaters, with exploits, with people that are just going around fucking teabagging people after being shot. Like, not every single person wants that experience. Like, yeah, sure, if you want to challenge yourself and you want to have like a, you know, a multiplayer experience, that's fine with me. I don't have a fucking problem with that. But giving people a single player option to get away from the bullshit, you know, especially like, what if servers are down or something, you know? A single player experience gives you that. But the only single player experiences that looter shooters tend to give people is like a practice area where you don't progress. You don't have, like, what's the point of looting anything? Just getting used to the mechanics is one thing, but what's the point of looting anything if you can't carry that over into your single player experience? So, we have this game, which is interesting to say the least. Hell is Others. It's kind of like Zero Sievert meets Call of Cthulhu meets Tarkov. I don't fucking know. I'm not sure exactly what this game is. I haven't actually played it, but I'm very interested to see what type of world this is, because I know it's definitely not normal. But yeah, I just like the fact that the developers of this game are actually intelligent, unlike Escape from Tarkov and possibly Ghosts of Tabor. Not to insult the developers themselves, but any sort of business practice that doesn't understand that there is a crowd for multiplayer and single player, like, you got to cater to everyone. Otherwise, your game, if it's not the best fucking thing in the world, that doesn't have any cheaters, any scumbags, that has a positive community, not a toxic as fuck community, which usually goes with an extraction shooter multiplayer, well, that's just a problem. So if developers start to go multiplayer and single player, merge those into one, have separate game files and everything for it, so you can't carry over single player into multiplayer, so you can't like spec out like crazy against the bots and then bring that into a unfair advantage into multiplayer. There are ways around it. The devs know that there's ways around it. They just don't want to fucking do it. As a matter of fact, Escape from Tarkov, the developers in Escape from Tarkov, they're attacking people for downloading a mod that allows you to play single player that doesn't interfere with multiplayer. I'll let that sink in for a little while. So, This is my fuck you to them by playing this game and not buying those games, because I don't want to waste my money on an experience that is literally targeting me as an enemy. I'm not an enemy. I just want to play alone sometimes, you know? All right,